Every single day, thousands of people wake up, have breakfast, go about their normal lives, and die before dinner. Not from a car accident, not from a fall, from something that was already growing silently inside their body for days, something that gave them every warning sign they needed, signs they saw, felt, and completely ignored because nobody ever told them what those signs meant. A blood clot. Most people think a blood clot just happens, like lightning, random, sudden, unstoppable. But that is one of the most dangerous lies in medicine. Because the truth is, your body starts screaming at you almost a full week before a blood clot becomes fatal. It sends you messages, physical, visible, undeniable messages, and almost every single person misses them. Because the messages don't come from your chest, they don't come from your heart, they come from the very bottom of your body, from the part you look at least, think about least, and pay attention to least, your feet. Before we go any further, I need you to do something right now. Take your shoes off if you can, or at least think about how your feet have felt this past week, because by the time this video is over, you are going to look at your feet in a completely different way for the rest of your life. There are 5 signs, 5 things your feet do in the 7 days before a blood clot becomes a medical emergency. And sign number 3 is the one that almost everyone in the world mistakes for something completely harmless, something they've been told their whole life is normal. Stay with me until the very end, because I am also going to reveal something that most doctors don't take the time to explain to their patients. A simple condition that mimics every single blood clot symptom perfectly, that has nothing to do with a clot at all, and that you can fix in days. But you need to know the difference, because getting it wrong could cost you your life. Now, before we get into the 5 signs, you need to understand what a blood clot actually is, and why the feet are the first place it shows up. Because once you understand this, everything else is going to make perfect sense. Your body has a river inside it. Billions of liters of blood traveling through highways of veins and arteries every single day, delivering oxygen and nutrients to every corner of your body. When everything is working right, that blood flows smooth, warm, and free. But sometimes, for reasons I'm going to explain in a moment, that blood starts to thicken, it starts to slow down. And when blood slows down in the wrong place, it starts to clump together, like a traffic jam that turns into a wall. That wall is a blood clot, and the most dangerous kind, the one responsible for the most deaths, forms not in your heart, not in your brain, but in the deep veins of your legs. Doctors call it deep vein thrombosis, but what I want you to call it is a ticking clock. Because here is what makes it so terrifying. The clot sits there, in your leg, growing quietly for days, and then one day it breaks free. It travels up through your body, through your heart, and straight into your lungs. And when it gets there, it blocks the oxygen supply to your entire body. That is called a pulmonary embolism, and it can kill you in minutes. Now here is the part that should make every single person watching this sit up straight. The clot doesn't just appear one day out of nowhere. It builds, it grows. And your feet, because they are at the very bottom of that blood river, the place where circulation is weakest, where gravity pulls blood down and makes it hardest for your heart to pull it back up, your feet feel it first. Your feet know before your brain does, before any doctor does, before any machine does. You just have to know what to look for. Sign number 5. Your foot is swollen, but only one of them, not both feet, one. This is critical, and most people get it completely wrong. When both feet are swollen, it is usually a circulation issue, a kidney issue, or simply standing on your feet all day. That is uncomfortable, but it is not immediately dangerous. But when only one foot, or one ankle, or one calf swells up, and the other one looks perfectly normal, your body is waving a red flag at you. A blood clot blocks the flow of blood trying to return back up toward your heart. That backup of blood has nowhere to go, so it pushes outward, into the tissue around it. And because the clot is in one leg, only one leg swells. It might feel tight, like your shoes suddenly got smaller overnight. You might notice a sock leaving a deep mark on one angle, but not the other. Some people describe it as a heaviness, like someone attached a small weight to one leg that wasn't there the day before. If you have noticed this in the past week, do not wait. Do not tell yourself it will go away. One swollen foot or leg with no obvious explanation is one of the clearest early warnings your body can give you. Sign number 4. The skin on your foot or lower leg changes color. This one is sneaky because the color change is not always dramatic. People expect to see something dark or obviously wrong, but in the early days, before the clot has fully developed, the color change can be subtle. Your leg might look slightly more red than usual, almost like a mild sunburn, or it can look bluish or purplish around the ankle or the back of the calf. Some people notice that one area of skin looks shiny, almost stretched, like the skin is being pushed from the inside. Here is why this happens. When blood is blocked and starts backing up, it starts pressing against the walls of your veins. That pressure shows through the skin. The blood underneath is darker because it's not oxygenated, it's stuck, and that darker deoxygenated blood shows through your skin as a bluish, reddish, or purplish discoloration. The area might also feel warmer to the touch than the rest of your leg. Run your hands slowly from your ankle up to your knee. If one specific spot feels noticeably warmer than the surrounding skin, that warmth is inflammation. That is your immune system responding to something abnormal in your vein. People see this color change and they say, maybe I bumped it, or maybe I slept on it wrong, and they move on. Please don't move on. A bruise you don't remember getting in a spot that feels warm on a leg that is also swollen is not a bruise. Sign number 3, a pain in your calf that feels exactly like a muscle cramp. This is the one that kills people because it feels so familiar. You feel a tightness, an ache, a cramping sensation in the back of your lower leg, and every single instinct in your body tells you it's just a cramp. You stretched it too fast getting out of bed. You walked too much yesterday. You need more potassium. Have a banana, drink some water, go back to sleep. But there is a difference between a muscle cramp and the pain of a blood clot, and once you hear it, you will never confuse them again. A regular muscle cramp comes fast and leaves fast. It seizes up, it screams at you, and within minutes or at most an hour or two, it releases and the pain is gone. A blood clot pain does not release, it stays. It is a persistent, dull, aching, tender pain that is there when you wake up, there when you move, there when you sit still. It might get worse when you flex your foot upward, when you pull your toes toward your shin. That specific movement stretches the vein and aggravates the clot. The other difference is where you feel it. A cramp you feel in the muscle itself, right in the belly of the calf. A clot pain tends to feel deeper, almost like it's inside the leg, behind the muscle. Some people describe it as a soreness that they cannot quite reach, cannot quite stretch out, no matter what they do. If you have had what you thought was a cramp in your calf for more than 24 hours, especially combined with any swelling or skin changes, please do not convince yourself it's just tight muscles. It may not be.
Sign number 2. Your veins are suddenly more visible than they used to be. Look at the top of your foot. Look at the inside of your ankle. If you have noticed in the past few days that the veins there look bigger, more raised, more visible than they usually do, that is not your imagination. When a clot blocks blood from flowing back up properly, that blood has to go somewhere. It starts backing up into smaller, more superficial veins near the surface of the skin. Those veins are not used to carrying that much volume. They expand, they bulge, they become visible in ways they were not before. This is different from varicose veins, which develop slowly over months and years. What you're looking for is a sudden change. Veins that were flat last month and are now raised today. Veins that look ropey or knotted, or that you can trace with your finger along the inside of your ankle or the back of your knee. When you press on them gently, they might feel slightly hard or slightly tender. Your body is showing you its roadmap, and it's showing you where the traffic has stopped. Sign number 1, the most important sign, and the one that comes first. Your foot feels numb, tingly, or unexplainably cold, even in a warm room. This is often the very first signal, days before the swelling, days before the pain, days before the color change. A strange, subtle coldness in one foot, or a tingling like a foot that's falling asleep but it doesn't fully wake up the way it normally would. or a faint numbness along the sole of the toes of one foot. When you press on them gently, they might feel slightly hard or slightly tender. Your body is showing you its roadmap, and it's showing you where the traffic has stopped.
When a clot begins forming and restricts blood flow, the first thing that suffers is sensation. The nerves in your foot depend on blood supply to function. When that supply drops, even slightly, those nerves begin to misfire. They send strange signals up to your brain. Cold when there is no cold. Pins and needles when you haven't been sitting still. A vague disconnection from the floor beneath you, like the foot isn't fully yours. Most people feel this and shake their foot, walk around for a minute, and when it seems to get a little better, they forget about it completely. They don't notice that it came back the next morning, and the morning after that. They don't notice that it never fully went away. If your foot has felt consistently colder than the rest of your body, if one foot always feels colder than the other, if you've been having unexplained tingling that comes and goes, do not chalk it up to poor circulation and leave it at that. Poor circulation is the symptom. A blood clot is one of the causes, and you need to find out which one you're dealing with. Now, before you close this video convinced that you have a blood clot, I need to tell you something critically important, something that will bring you real relief. Not every swollen foot is a clot. Not every calf pain is a clot. Not every cold foot is a clot. There's a condition so common, so widespread, so completely underdiagnosed that it mimics every single symptom I just described. Swelling, tingling, cold feet, discoloration, fatigue in the legs, and it has nothing to do with a clot whatsoever. It is called peripheral artery disease in its more serious form, but in millions of people, these same exact symptoms are being caused by something far simpler: severe dehydration combined with electrolyte imbalance, magnesium and potassium deficiency, prolonged sitting with crossed legs cutting off circulation, even just poorly fitted shoes creating chronic compression. When a doctor examines you for a blood clot, they will likely do an ultrasound of the leg. It takes minutes, it is painless, and it will tell you definitively whether there is a clot there or not. That test exists so that you do not have to guess, so that you do not have to spend 3 days in terror, or worse, spend 3 days convincing yourself it's nothing. The goal of this video is not to make you afraid. Fear without knowledge is paralysis. The goal is to make you informed, because an informed person who sees these signs and goes to a doctor immediately is a person who survives. An uninformed person who feels a cramp and drinks a glass of water and goes back to bed is a person who becomes a statistic. Now, if you want to protect yourself, if you want to make sure your blood never gets the chance to form that clot in the first place, write these 3 things down right now. First, move every single hour. When you sit still for long periods, the blood in your legs has no pump. Your legs are not near your heart. The only thing pushing blood back up through your leg veins is the squeezing action of your calf muscles when you walk. When you sit for hours, those muscles are still, and that blood slows down. Even standing up and walking to the kitchen and back, even rolling your ankles 10 times in each direction while seated is enough to keep that blood moving. Set an alarm if you have to. Every hour, move. Second, drink more water than you think you need. Blood thickens when you are dehydrated. Thick blood moves slowly. Slow blood clots. It is that direct. Most people are chronically mildly dehydrated and have no idea. If your urine is darker than a pale yellow, you are not drinking enough. Start there. Third, if you are on a long journey, whether a flight, a train, a long car ride, wear compression socks. They are not just for elderly people. They are not just for athletes. They are a simple, cheap, proven tool that squeezes your calves gently and keeps blood from pooling in your legs during long periods of stillness. They have saved thousands of lives of completely healthy young people who sat in a middle seat for 10 hours and stood up and felt a clot break free. Your feet carry you through your entire life. They take you to the people you love, to the places that matter, through every morning and every ordinary Tuesday you will ever live. They deserve 5 minutes of your attention. They deserve for you to know what they were trying to tell you. Look at them tonight. Check for swelling. Check for color changes. Think about whether you have had any unusual cramping or coldness in the past week. And if something doesn't look right, don't decide to wait and see. Go get it checked. Make the appointment. Do it today. Please share this video right now with someone you care about. Put it in the family group. Send it to the friend who sits at a desk all day. Send it to the parent who barely moves from their chair. There are people in your life who are feeling these symptoms right now and have no idea what their body is telling them. This video could be the reason they go to the doctor tomorrow morning instead of waiting until it's too late. Take care of your body. It is the only one you have, and it is talking to you every single day. All you have to do is learn to listen.